Steve McQueen's Widows arrives on the big screen, an adaptation of the 1983 TV series, and it promises big things. It's from the director of 12 Years a Slave, Shame, Hunger, fantastic movies. He's moved into a little bit more thriller territory here, and he brings with him a fantastic cast. I'd love to mention all the actors, but you know, it's a who's who of some of the best actors working today. And it's basically about a group of 4 robbers who go on one mission only to die and to leave their widows behind. And we have Veronica, the sort of main widow, the wife of Liam Neeson's character, who finds herself in a situation. Our men were robbing a gangster. The gangster comes to her and wants her to make things whole, to pay back the money that Liam Neeson was stealing, and she was put in a bind. She discovers his book that has all his notes of his heists and his next heist, and together with the other widows that she gathers together, they decide to pull off this last robbery to get the money, to get themselves clear of this gangster and get themselves enough money to keep themselves going for the next few years. Now, even this long after seeing Widows, and I've let it settle on me for a few days trying to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like about it, and there are something in both camps. I did find myself enjoying this rather adult thriller that has very in-your-face political elements as well. There's 2 or 3 stories that are going on here. You have this political aspect with Colin Farrell's character, who is dealing with a sort of sense of nepotism, being the next to take over his father's position as governor, and his father is still there, played by Robert Duvall, and they have a kind of antagonistic relationship that's going on as the new usurps the old type of thing. We have this gangster who is trying to fight against Colin Farrell in the political echelon by trying to take over this city governorship as well, and moving away from the sort of gangster lifestyle. And you have this sort of story of, can you move away from something that you've always known, you've always fought against, something that you've grew up with and the only life you know, can you leave it behind and move on? And then we have the widows themselves. Again, it's another story of moving on. You have these 4 women who were living their own lives, or it felt that way, but they really were part of their husband. Their husbands kind of kept them, drove them forward. These women aren't women who were in were kept away from the knowledge of what their husbands were doing. They were fully aware of what they were doing. They came to terms with it, had reasoned it, and were still happy to let it continue, as much as anyone could be. And it's most about these women discovering themselves. You know, they feel as if they've been pulled along by their husbands, defined by who their husbands are, and now that their husbands are away and they have to sort of make ends meet to stand on 2 feet, they're kind of discovering things about themselves. It's about, everybody sort of moving out of somebody else's shadow or something shadow and trying to break free of that and become their own person. It's an interesting thread that's all the way through Widows, and it's something that I could really latch on to. You grow up being told one thing, and it's hard to kind of break away from that, to make a whole new change and to move into something that you're far more comfortable with, to become the person that you want to be, that you need to be to move on to this next stage of your life. I really did like that, and I did like some of the scenes in this. The way they were shot, the way they were put together were fantastically set up. A couple of scenes I really loved is there's 2 car chases in this, and they are fantastic. The way they're shot is very unlike most car chases, but it's placed within one of the vehicles that is being chased. Or there's a van chase at the start with the police chasing the robbers, and it's shot all within the van, and the doors swing open and they're turning around streets and the cars are screeching and chasing after them. It's interestingly shot, it's new, it's something I hadn't really seen done too much before, and it felt invigorating in this kind of scenario. You get another car chase later on where some of those scenes are replayed again, and again it's still fantastic. There is this terrific scene where Colin Farrell's sleazy political character is giving a speech to a handful of people about hot topic button subjects, just so to, get some from the paper, get some more press. And he has to live within this area that he wants to govern, so he lives in the edge of town, and he jumps in the car, and you get this real-time scene as he drives from where he was doing his speech in the inner city to his house, which is almost kind of mansion-like on the edge of this district. And the camera is on the end of the car, and it kind of shows you the sort of depravity in the rundown area, and then it just kind of pans across the car to the other side as it moves into the sort of more affluent area of this city. It's a lovely scene, really well done. In the end, there was a lot to like about Widows, and I did like most of it. I like the filmmaker, I like a lot of the actors that are on the show here, and they all do great work, but it never digs deep enough into the characters for my liking to give me a real sort of something to latch onto on most of them, and it seems to rely on this kind of pulp story that's going all the way through it too. The robbery, this ultimate something that happens that kind of robs the movie of the power that it was having. I think Widows is an enjoyable movie. It's not for everybody. Its pace is measured, but I think it is right for the movie, and it is effective, and it's something that I can recommend checking out. For me, thinking about it, I think it's probably a 3.5 out of 5 at the moment, and I think that's probably a fair score for the movie. I would love to know your opinion of Widows, so let me know in the comment box below, and I will see you next time on Man vs Film.